Welcome to a reliability and inferential analysis assignment by POL242TEHRAN2013. The focus of the study is to determine what factors influence levels of confidence in political institutions. Data selected for this analysis is derived from the 2011 Canadian election study, surveying a total of 1,076 respondents. The method to be implemented for the study includes Cronbach's alpha, bivariate cross-tabulations, chi-square test, measures of association, as well as the ANOVA and Sheffe test. Inspiring this research with events leading toward the 2011 Canadian federal elections, most notably the vote of no confidence passed by the House of Commons. The study wishes to observe whether the same sentiments resonate among Canadian citizens at large. We will be expanding our focus to include factors that may affect levels of voter confidence toward leading political institutions of the federal and provincial government, civil society, and the courts. We have deliberately chosen to observe attitudes toward constant bodies of democracy rather than particular political representatives who come and go with each election to analyze the long-term effects of confidence to the political system, the democracy, and society as a whole. Scholarly research within this field can be generally divided between two camps: the cultural theories of institutional confidence and the institutional theories. We will be observing both to observe which is most successful in explaining levels of variation. Cultural theories, such as Putnam, view a direct and interdependent relationship between social capital and political capital, while institutional theorists focus on regime performance, its economic and political effects, and utility. The reliability analysis for a dependent variable measuring the concept of confidence in political institutions yields an alpha score of 0.72, which surpasses the threshold of 0.6, signaling a unified movement among indicators. Our raw dependent variable is recoded into three categories, measuring none, some, and a great deal of confidence toward political institutions. The percentages among rows show a degree of variation in the respondents. However, the statistical analysis indicates that most respondents display some amount of confidence, and we would like to know why. Our first hypothesis postulates that individuals who identify with leading political parties should exhibit greater confidence toward political institutions. Our second hypothesis argues that individuals who trust others more easily should exhibit greater confidence toward institutions, while thirdly, we postulate that with an institutional approach, that taxpayers who believe that their money is being spent in a wasteful manner should exhibit lower confidence toward the political institutions. Our first cross-tabulation yields a weak measure of association of 0.15, while P and chi tests indicate that the sample is very likely to be representative of the population, and that differences in the dependent variable across categories of the independent variable are unlikely to be due to chance. The bulges included within the table point toward a positive direction as well. Most interestingly, however, the ANOVA and Sheffe tests support Bélanger and Nadeau's view that the two traditional parties tend to be more trustful than those identifying with third parties. Our second cross-tabulation focuses on the relationship between social capital and political capital. This too yields a moderate tau C score of 0.19. Finally, our third cross-tabulation focusing on the respondents' evaluation of tax management yields the strongest score of all, a tau B score of 0.36. The Sheffe test also indicates that those who believe that people in government waste a great deal of money we pay in taxes also have the least amount of confidence in political institutions. In summary, we can conclude that all three hypotheses have been supported by our observations, therefore the null hypothesis can be ruled out. However, hypothesis number 3 yields the most amount of strong correlations, confirming Hetherington and Dalton's thesis that confidence is best measured by an evaluation of institutional performance, utility, and accountability. While we can see that interpersonal trust in hypothesis number 2 is important in influencing confidence in political institutions, the relationship is very weak, and Putnam's theory of social capital fails to indicate a strong and definitive relationship between social and political capital. However, hypothesis number 1, while weak, supports Bélanger and Nadeau's view that compared to nonpartisans, respondents identifying with two traditional parties tend to be more trustful to the federal government. Our further research will include regional analysis, which regions in Canada exhibit the most or least amount of confidence in institutions, a focus on demographics. Do immigrants hold the same views, minorities, and the age? Do levels of confidence differ amongst youth and adults?